Hello everyone, my name is Dellair Youssef and this is Revision Soziokultur podcast. One day a friend of mine sent me a link and told me to apply for this job. It looks like it fits you. I took a look and I said, okay, this looks interesting. Let's apply. I did. And then I had an interview with three nice people. I made some of my so-called stupid jokes, but thankfully they liked them and gave me the job. This job is, and I'm reading from their website, looking to commission a digital artist for a storytelling commission between April and December 2022 to create a 6-part multimedia diaries. This commission is open to artists globally. You must be bilingual, German-English. So, I have to do what they call multimedia diaries on the topic of socioculture in Germany by working with two other artists, an electronic musician, Benjamin Berry, and a comic artist, Azam Mazoumzadeh. And I have the freedom to select the multimedia form I want to profile 14 different projects. I decided to make 6 short videos, one for each part of this diary, and a podcast, which is the one we are listening to. In this podcast, I will host different projects that interact with the concept of socioculture. I wanted to understand this thing and what it means, honestly, and from the beginning. One of the main reasons that made me apply to this job was to see the world with different eyes, to get out of my comfort zone and try to talk to others, to other artists who live and work out of my circle. Who are you and how do you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Hannah Kah. I'm a musician from Germany, and I also took over the coordination for the project Music RLP Women.
Okay, can you tell me a bit about this project? How did it start, the idea behind, who's working on it, how many people are you?
A few years ago, a big network of women in the music business formed all around Germany, which is called Music Women Germany, and they formed smaller networks for the provinces in Germany. So we with Rhineland-Palatinate were I don't know, probably not the first ones and probably not the last ones to form such a network, but it was very important that we do it for our province because we have a lot of countryside over here, and it was very important to us to represent women in music on the countryside of Germany. So that's how the idea started, that we have to form a network in Rhineland-Palatinate, and that's what we basically do. So we are a team of, I think, 15 women, and actively working on the project we are 3, 4, 5, depending on how much time we have, because we all have jobs at the side. I'm a musician, for example. Leah is working at the university. Caro is working for Pop RLP. So yes, what we do is we're trying to do something and to represent women all over Rhineland-Palatinate and all over Germany.
Okay, but you said on your website that you want to work on a long term, something like
Yes.
changing the music scene by presenting more women on the stage, because you mentioned like one big festival that they had only 4% women on the
Right.
stage and you want to change that. Can you tell me like a bit more what do you mean? How you gonna do it? Is it possible even?
It's a high goal to change. It's like a little bit like changing the world, because women still are a marginalized group in society, and it's the same basically in the music business. So what our goal would be to have a 50-50% uh, I don't know how to say distribution, but we don't have that in reality yet. So our goal absolutely is to bring women into festivals, to connect women with each other, to make sure that girls also have the courage to go into music, to be brave enough to uh, become musicians, and of course also to well, I don't want to say like kill the patriarchy, but it's just representing women and show the world that we are there and that we are absolutely capable to stand on stages and make a good show.
Like you said, like you like a lot of countryside around you, and you think like this is like does it make it easier or harder? Because usually you have, people say like the changes come from big cities. And
Well, that's a difficult question, because yes, if you live in Berlin or somewhere in a big city, it might be easier to be seen as a woman in music business. And on the countryside, it's really things are really slowed down. Changes are slowed down, but also music business on the countryside is a little bit like a blank space, so it's easier to to I don't know, talk to people, change their minds. Um, but it's even harder to get women who are in the music business here. So to find and to make the network bigger is actually harder, I think. Compared to the big cities.
okay, and what does this like project will, do you think like it would change something in your local community? You are based in Rhineland-Pfalz, no?
Yeah, yeah. I think it already did, because it's a compared small province in Germany. We reached a lot of women, and we have like many women who wanted to join the network, and I think that's I think we already changed a little bit how music business is seen in Rhineland-Palatinate, and people write to us, ask, "Oh my God, we really want to book more women to our festival. Do you have any tips? Do you have any people we could ask?" So things changed already, even though we only are working since 6 months, I think, and I think we really can make a change here. So um, yeah, yes,
And it's like like connecting people all over Germany, right? Not only in your how to say state or like
yeah,
your local.
yeah. There's always the interaction with the big network, Music Women Germany. We always are talking to them, and also connect with the other provinces like NRW, or the other provinces like, I don't know, Berlin and Hamburg. Yeah.
It always comes back to Berlin, ne?
It
So
always
like
comes
the
back to
big,
Berlin in music business.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I live in Berlin and I know how big it is here. It's like everything, like about music.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to ask you now, like some, I don't know, couple of general questions about
Yes.
like socioculture. Um, so like I'm doing this to, for me myself, to understand what is socioculture. So I'm trying to ask people what is how do you define it? So how do you define socioculture? What does it mean for you?
um, I think socioculture or culture is how cultural events and how music connects people and generations. Is that a good definition? Is that something you wanted to hear?
Yeah, it's fair enough. And but you focus on music all the time. You want to like do the change through music.
Mm,
I'm like asking myself, how's that possible?
yeah. Well, I believe, and this is also like a credo of my band. We believe that music always built bridges in the history, because music is part of every culture, is part of every I don't know, a society. So I think that music is like the core of culture, and that's why people always react emotionally to music, and that's how it works. So I think that's why it's so important to have music as a cultural part, and why it's also always also writing history in a political way. So if you take Bob Dylan or all these protest singer songwriters, I think they formed society, and that's how they also had influence to politics, and also influences to social culture.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
beautiful to hear. But again, I'm like asking myself, um, is that possible? Because we live somehow in how to say capitalist societies, and everything is like related to how you present yourself, how you sell your product, basically. And what you're saying is mostly is beautiful, is idealistic, but you also have to somehow, I guess, I don't know, like correct me, you have to be pragmatic too, no? You have
Absolutely.
to, I don't know, apply for funds like this one. You have to, I don't
Yes.
know, fit in some categories that maybe you don't like. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's why we do the work we do, because for example, if we want to make a change in the world, and in capitalism, and in the way the music industry developed in the last years, as you say, you have to be pragmatic. Like, you have to think about, how does the first 10 seconds of my song sound, so that people on Spotify won't click it away. um, you have to think about things like that. But I think with the work we do, for example, with Music RLP Women, we are trying to do these exact changes to by giving or open up spaces for groups, for marginalized groups, or also for more diversity. And I think that's the only possibility to do it, to like mix mix being pragmatic, and doing the idealistic things, and stand up for who we are, and what we want to do, and what we want to reach.
And that's why you applied for this fund, right? This Fonds Soziokultur, probably.
Yeah, we needed it to form Music RLP Women, so yes.
And how does this fund help you?
We needed a financial backup to do all the things we wanted to do. We have like meetups, we have concerts planned with women, and to do all these things, you have to pay the people you book for that. So we basically needed a financial background, and Fonds Soziokultur gave that to us.
And what do you want to do in the like near future? Because we talked about like your dreams and what you want to reach like in the far future, but like in the near future, in the next year, what you want to do,
Yeah.
or in this
So
year?
we have some really good ideas planned, and we have the like meetups in Rhineland-Palatinate. So in these meetups, women are supposed to come together, women from the music business, no matter if they are like bookers or technicians or artists, and they come together, connecting with each other. And alone this alone brings very much power to the project, because when people meet up and see each other, it always carries some kind of energy. That's the one thing. We also cooperate with some festivals to like bring women as support acts on stages. We also want to, that's not the very near future, but maybe in the next year, we want to cooperate with people who do awareness teams on festivals, to make clear that these things are very much needed on big festivals. So we have some ideas, and I think that's basically the work we will do in the next years.
Okay, that's like very nice. Can you tell me a bit about yourself, like the music you do, about why do you do this kind of music? I was just listening to some of your tracks, which is like super beautiful, powerful, full of emotions.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
Yes, so my band is called Hannah Kah. We are a four-piece group, and I'm the only woman in this group. So even my band is not like 50% female, but yeah. So I'm in the business for maybe 6-7 years now, and I made a lot of good and not so good experiences, and that's basically why I wanted to form something with my friends from Pop RLP, to form something to help women in the music business. And I do folk music with my band. We sometimes also call it outlaw music, because in Germany it's very hard to categorize what we do, because it's a mixture of pop and folk music and Americana. And we're a band which tours a lot. We are a lot on tour, or were a lot on tour before COVID. Also played a lot internationally. We were in Canada and in Australia, and it was always very important for me to combine traveling with making music. So being on tour abroad always means for me making new friends and seeing the world. So that's also why and how our lyrics and songs get so emotional, because we always make very great experiences abroad and take them into our songs.
okay, and I'm personally interested in music and languages,
Okay.
and I'm like, you sing in English,
Yes.
although you like a German band, and a German musicians and based in Germany, and I wanted to ask, I know why not, but also why.
Hmm.
You don't see that, it's not very common, eh? Like with
Yeah, it's
German
not.
musician. With my
Yeah.
experience in Germany, I didn't see it that often.
Yeah, I
So
know. It's a question I've been asked like a million times. But I always had to say that the language of my heart is English, absolutely. So it has always been this way, and it always be this way. So if I try to write, so on the practical side, if I try to write a German song, it's always a Schlager song. Always, it never works out. Also, if I sing it, because my voice, if I sing in German, it's always very Schlageresque. But um, also, I think in the development of my band, the English language combined with our German roots and the history which is behind being a German person has a very interesting mixture. So for example, we wrote a song about a Holocaust survivor, and I tried to put in all the experiences I made in Germany with this topic, and also abroad with this topic. And this gave a really uncommon mixture, because all the people, for example, in Australia said, "Oh my God, I never saw this whole Holocaust thing in this way." And the song, it says so much about how young German people feel about it. So I think it's really interesting what happens because we sing and write in English.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And not very common. Definitely not very common. Um, that's cool. And personally, do you have like other plans, other, I don't know, work that you're gonna do beside the music RLP woman?
Yeah, my main focus always has been the band and always will be the band. So that's my plan for the future, to work and be on tour with Hannah Kah and have music RLP women as my side project.
This podcast is supported by Fonds Soziokultur. The music is composed by Benjamin Berry. See you in the next episode.